Good morning. I've been dieting for 10 weeks and today is the first high day, so I'm going to take you through it and show you everything that I eat in a day. Obviously the diet's nothing major or aggressive, it's just been consistent, and I'm officially 8 kg down in that 10 weeks, simply just from eating the same meals, doing my 12.5k steps, and my cardio has been at 40 minutes for the past 3 weeks. So I'm just going to take you through everything that I eat. It's all the same foods that I eat, just get more of it today, which is very exciting, with a focus on carbohydrates. So that's going to be the plan for today. It's a rest day. I've not to do more than 10k steps and no cardio, so that is also equally very much welcomed. I've got lots of life admin to catch up on as well. As you can see, my apartment needs cleaned, so we'll be doing that today as well. I've got a couple of onboardings to send out, I've got training footage to analyse and plans to write up, so that's going to be my day in action. The sun's not out, unfortunately, so my daylight exposure will be dull and grey. Yeah, it's exciting when it gets to the point in the diet where you are just kind of like focusing on the precision aspects of things. The consistency is very much there, you know. Basically not missed a beat for 10 weeks, but that's only because I implement it into my lifestyle, so I actually find it really easy. Don't get me wrong, I am hungry, so today I'm excited for the high day. So yeah, we'll eat the meals and yeah, get to work and show you what we're up to today. So I've showered, I'm fresh, I'm good to go. I'm gonna go out and get some steps. It is really dull and grey, so I'll show you the weather, but also I've got dates on the meal plan today. You know, like honestly, a banana would have not went amiss, but I always just do what's written, because that's going to give my coach data of how my body's actually responding to the food sources that he wants in. And obviously things are in for specific reasons, fast acting carbohydrates, things that are going to keep me full, and things that have got fibre. So rice cakes, for example, dates, for example. I'm gonna go down by the dates, get some steps, and take you with me. I've put my washing on, I've done my dishes, I have showered, I've made the bed, I've done all the basics, yeah, the morning routine, if you will. So that's just what I always do every morning. But now we're going to get intentional, you know, and do the things that matter. So flat's kind of like spruced up slightly, which is nice. You can see my sofa. I've also wiped my surfaces. Literally, listen to my neighbourhood. It is so noisy. But anyway, that's me just gonna go get some steps. I'm gonna do them outside rather than on the walking pads. It's grey, but that's okay. Also feeling a little bit tired, so the refeed couldn't have come at a better time. I think my stress markers were just ever so marginally higher yesterday. So obviously the plan of action is to just pull off a little bit of inflammation, pull off a little bit of fatigue. Can you hear me? This neighbourhood is so noisy, and yeah, just freshen me up a little bit. Training's been good, my performance has been really good, and I have been taking like my sets to failure. Obviously running a couple of new movements as well, just because we need to bring up my hamstrings. I've got really weak glutes and really weak hamstrings, irrespective of my hourglass shape, if you will. But yeah, we want to keep everything nice and tight and lifted. Felt a wee bit flat yesterday, energy dipped. So these are all the kind of like markers that are just really important in terms of this refeed, I suppose. So I'm gonna walk round and actually go into a shop and buy my dates, which I'm excited for. So yeah, and I've definitely been feeling hungrier, so we obviously know things are ticking forward, but it's not going to revolutionise anything, it's hopefully just going to freshen me up. But yeah, the hunger signalling, yeah, that's been very apparent, loud and clear, but it's okay, like I have enough food, you know what I mean? I have 5 meals a day, I can wait 3 hours between my meals. And my digestion's definitely improved, because honestly when you're pushing food up towards the end of that improvement phase, like my surplus, I basically, oh, my digestion was in the gutter, but I was doing up experimentation, I was doing up flexibility, I was doing up all this carry on, and my digestion just went ham. So we did have to pull back to maintenance and do that for a few weeks. And then obviously at the start of my 10-week diet, again, like coming out of a surplus, I couldn't just go aggressively into a deficit with immediate effect, so we had to pull that back down to maintenance again and run that for a few weeks, just so that my body could like get used to lower foods, you know, with a little bit of higher output. And the really good thing, naturally my output's quite high just because I am quite active. But obviously my steps were 10k, my cardio was 20 minutes, that was 5 days a week. That's really manageable, you know, and like the weight was like coming off, which was good, and the body composition was tightening up. And then I had my calorie deficit. So now I've been in the calorie deficit, if you will, but it's all part of the timeline, it's all part of the process, you know. So now we're refeeding, which is good, which I'm excited about. It's the first high day. Oh my god, it couldn't have come at a better time. I must have said that like 3 times. But yeah, had my coffee, did my work. My girls are killing it, which is good. Always reminding everybody to plan ahead for their weekends, you know, set yourself up for success. Honestly, it makes such a big difference. So yeah, life admin today, that's what we're doing. I do wish it was sunny so that I could actually just like enjoy some vitamin D, but it is what it is. So feeling good, definitely feeling less stressed as well. And it's not even like life stress or anything, it's, I suppose it's just like managing admin, managing life, managing work, running a business. I suppose no one really sets you up for that, but yeah, just making sure everything is ticking forward and making sure that I'm just staying on top of like all my wee bits and bobs, you know, my wee bits and pieces. Got my little boxes to tick. Things like daylight exposure, things that are really, really important. Things like, you know, meditating. I'm such an advocate for it because it just like calms me. So I use breath work or stretching or journaling as forms there. But yeah, breath work's really, really important as well for the mindset, just to be able to reset ahead of the day, you know, ahead of the world, which is always going to be important for your mindset and your personal development as well. And just, you know, making sure that you are believing in yourself, but also making sure that you are actually managing your stress, you know. And it does come down to the precision of your sleep, like the quality of your sleep, you know, the times that you're waking up, like your evening routines. All of these things, don't get me wrong, like mine are never like consecutively perfect, especially with time zones, you know. Like my routine has shifted majorly since I left the UK, simply because there are a big chunk of my clients that are UK based, so it's really, really important that, and Europe based, so it's really, really important that I am proactive in these times, you know, for their training footage and like for their feedback responses and for also support, you know, just to make sure that I'm available for responding. That is my job. So I do obviously have to navigate my schedule around different time zones, but I'm forever lucky. So yeah, I'll take you into the shop as well. I feel like I never do grocery hauls. I won't be doing a full food shop, but I'll take you around that, and hopefully my meals don't look awful. Like, I have been like documenting the foods, but sometimes I'm so hungry I'm literally just throwing everything in and just eating it all. Also, a couple of the girls asked for like the meal prep. I basically just batch cook my carbs and batch cook, well yeah, just like season my chicken and then just do my veggies frozen, just because it's really, really quick and easy. But yeah, today's just going to be all about eating, all about refeeding and just replenishing the physique. Obviously we eat for health. Yeah, big physique goals this year, which is really, really exciting. I also got to the point where I was sick of food, like, you know, like I had like a big 6-month off season. Yeah, I was like eating in a surplus, didn't immediately eat in a surplus. I obviously reverse dieted and then pulled back to maintenance as well. This neighbourhood is so loud. So I got my dates. I'm gonna get my first meal on the go. It is a rest day, so I like to wear casual wear, just so that I can believe that I don't go to the gym to do cardio or train, and just to be in that kind of like mindset. I'll still do my steps, I'll still eat all my meals, I'll still do all my work. But yeah, so meal one is, well, it's the exact same meal I've been eating. So it's my egg white, my egg, so that's my omega-3s, my healthy fats, my strawberries, my 50 gram of any veg, lazy girl hack, stick to cucumber, and I've got 5 rice cakes. So nothing too exciting, but increase in carbohydrates is very much welcomed, and you of course appreciate food when you have been dieting, and it shouldn't necessarily matter where those foods come from, as long as they're good for you. And obviously we're looking for things that are going to keep me satiated throughout the day. So yeah, 5 rice cakes, 2 eggs, 150 gram of egg white, 50 gram of any veg of choice, and 100 gram of strawberries. So we are on 372 calories, 32 grams of protein, 34 grams of carbohydrates, and 12 grams of fats, with 3 grams of fibre in there, which is good as well. So there we go, there we have it. So that's the meal if you can't see it. Okay, so this is the first meal of the day, which I'm hungry for. I have done, I think I've only done 3k steps because I don't want to be exceeding 10k yet. 3,685 steps. I'm not exceeding 10k today. Got my meal, which I'm excited about because I'm hungry. Would 100%, I'm going to say it again, prefer a banana. But it is what it is. We love carbs, especially when we've not had any. So the high days went good so far. It's 3 p.m. and I've done like 6.7k steps, which is really good. I've also done all my work, and I just like to stay really comfy on a rest day. I'm also twiddling my thumbs like, what is this? 10k steps? Like I just naturally like always, my steps are like averaging like 15 to 16k, and I do work at a desk a lot, and I'm noticing that is like one of the biggest changes since for the past 2 years, that is kind of like, I feel like it's prolonging my process. Obviously everyone's just saying no, like every prep's different, every diet's different, but what I do know is that naturally as a teacher I was really active, and I would also like prioritise my time, so I would always do my cardio fasted in the morning. I still very much do that, but obviously my clients come first, so you know, if my check-ins are in, like that is the priority for the morning, and then I'll go and do cardio. This week's been really busy. Also stress was high and fatigue was high, and that's also part of the reason why we're running the high day today. So my cardio has been after work, and I don't know if that's impacted anything to do with this week, but I mean 8 kg down in 10 weeks is super sustainable, considering the past 3 weeks I've been on 40 minutes of cardio. Before that it was literally like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, just as my body was like adjusting and adapting. I've had 2 food nudges. So I obviously went from my surplus because I was gaining weight, and we brought that down to maintenance. And then from that maintenance, we brought that down into a deficit, and nothing's changed, and now today's the refeed day. So yeah, anyway, I am just not knowing what to do with myself. Sending out Ashley's plans. I'm going to onboard her as well. She's starting on the 13th on Monday, which is very exciting. I have done everything in the apartment. So I've cleaned the apartment, I've done all of that lovely good stuff, and I've been filming my meals all day because just come eat my high day with me. Like, that's the most exciting part of the week, and it's also like a really, really big exciting part of my diet. But I have been feeling good. My training's good. I have been feeling good, but my stress was a little bit higher earlier on in the week. But again, you know, like all of these little precise details, like I don't want to start slacking on my steps. And my steps are 12.5k, so that's good. My cardio is 40 minutes, so screaming lucky. And I keep my training intensity like really, really high. So like, you know, I'm not slacking with my technique, I'm not slacking with my tempo, because that's what's going to drive my progress. And what's happened is my food has stayed in a really, really good place. Like just a normal calorie deficit for a normal short girl, like literally the matter of like 200 calorie deficit, like roughly, which is good. So yeah, my brain was a little bit just discombobulated, you know, but again, I just have to take my own advice and remember what I'm reinforcing to all my clients as well, and yeah, just staying on track basically. So what's my plan? What we're gonna do? I feel tired. It's all this food, it's all these carbs. We've got another big carb meal. Oh god, this is just making me feel like, how did I do the bulk? But what I do remember from the improvement season, do you know the season I like, the phase I like? Maintenance. Maintenance. You have enough energy, you're still training, you're still doing like 10k steps, you're still doing like 20 minutes cardio, you know, like you're eating what your body needs and you're not exceeding that or regressing that, if you will. But yeah, I suppose like I do actually find dieting easy, because even through the whole improvement I was just eating the same foods, like nothing's changed. I just reduced the portions. Obviously a couple of my meals are carbless now, but I still eat over like 170 grams of carb, 170, which is good. Yeah, well, 160 and 130, that's the lowest my carbs have been for ages. But obviously today I'm like over 300 grams of carb because I just woke up flat, no pump in the gym, which is quite boring. Wow, I was starting to think like, what was the difference between this year and last year? And the main difference was I worked a full-time job and I didn't work a desk job. So now obviously I sit down when I'm working, and like obviously everything is just stored there. It doesn't mean like my body's not working, it's just obviously I'm a year older as well, like my body's less resilient. But you know, the slow, steady, being patient, being consistent, like I can't even emphasize that enough. Like literally just rinse and repeat the same thing. And yeah, I suppose that's why it's easy, because nothing's really changed apart from my portions. Obviously I eat high protein, so yeah. Okay, so it's the second meal of the day, and I'm happy with the rice cakes for breakfast because I get cream of rice on a rest day, 65 grams, so we are winning. So cream of rice, whey, almond butter, raspberries and dates, which is nice and exciting. Although I don't actually have raspberries, so I'm just gonna use blueberries because that's an antioxidant. So again, a nice big carb heavy meal. This is the biggest meal of the day, so this is 648 calories, 25 grams of protein, 110 grams of carbohydrates, 12 grams of fats, 10 grams of fibre. So happy. Yeah, this is my favourite meal. neighbourhood is, can you hear that? Like, it literally wakes me up at like 4 in the morning. It will literally, I can't work. Like, it's pure, everybody sit in the back room and it's one room and we've both got work to do. Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote. Anyway, I had a really big fangirl moment in the gym yesterday. So I was training and Josh Bridgman literally came up to me and was like, oh, when are you competing? You just get leaner and leaner every time I see you. And I was like, oh, who knows? She's still aspiring. I'm on my third like fat loss, like consistent fat loss. That is really, and you know what, I wanted the nice natural light. Anyway, that was exciting, that was cool, and I still can't believe like how many tremendous athletes that I get to share a gym floor with, which is really cool. But yeah, that was cool. He was asking how long, when I'm competing, how long I've been dieting for, saying I look really good. Obviously I went straight to the coach. I said, your work is being recognised well and truly. I am consistent though, this is the thing, you know, like I do show up for my training, I do my cardio, very much hit my steps, very much prioritise my macros. And so far, up until this point, like this is the lifestyle diet, you know, this kind of like 8 to 10 weeks. I like to say 12 weeks is the sweet spot with consistency. What I have seen time and time again with many women is that the 12-week mark, considering you're consistent and you prove that consistency to me, and you know we can actually hone in on the precision aspect of things, you know, the sleep, the recovery, the training metric, the nutrition accuracy. We're able to obviously manipulate nutrition to complement your physique and your outcome. 10 kg, 12 weeks, straight up, like with your consistency, you know, like that's no kind of like learning the consistency aspect, you know, like you come into the process, you come into the timeline consistent, and we can get 10 kg off in 12 weeks. That's from like, you know, 90 kg to 80 kg. That's from like 70 kg to 60 kg. That's from like 60 kg to 50 kg. That's what I've seen happen. Obviously, the smaller you are and height-wise, and depending on like your body composition, but you know, 10 kg is a kind of like sweet spot there. Anyway, get to share the gym with loads of tremendous athletes. That's Phoebe Hagen, Josh Bridgman, and many more. Obviously, really love the kit at Muscle Hut Dubai as well. And yeah, it's great for leg day. It's also great for back day. What? Oh, jump scared. That noise is sending me into oblivion. But yeah. So this is the kind of like happy and healthy. Obviously I'm going to take myself to, now I'm going to take myself to the extremes, but what I've done is basically tidied up the physique. It's been like, honestly, like yeah, fine. Like if you're new to dieting, it's going to feel boring, it's going to feel monotonous. But what you would do from this point is you would reverse diet. Okay, obviously I'm going to do another 7 or 8 weeks just to take myself to that next level, like 8 kg down. I'm expecting at the 12-week mark I'll be 10 kg down, and that just comes down to consistency. And I know that like you always hear this, like consistency over perfection. this, that, the next thing. I always reinforce the importance of consistency over perfection. God forbid an injury, God forbid you get sick, God forbid an event, not God forbid an event, but you know, like, events are going to happen, and there might be times where you do slip up. Personally, I don't slip up. Like, I just take my meal prep with me, I just say no to things, and I just participate. I don't disassociate, and I don't take myself out of environments. One of my clients was actually asking me, how do you, my babe, how do you navigate like your goals with your partner? How do you navigate your goals when you're socialising? How do you like stay on plan? And I just do. Like, I still contribute like to socials. I still, you know, like, enjoy the company, and I always try and reinforce this. That is really sending me. I always try and reinforce this thing of making sure you are present and making sure you do participate, because first of all, it's no one else's responsibility if you've got goals and you've got physique goals or fat loss goals or growing goals or gaining goals. And this is the thing, like, if we are gaining weight or at maintenance, like, yeah, incorporate flexibility. I'm a firm believer of like not seeing things as like off-plan meals, because you shouldn't be on track or off track. You know, you should be prioritizing your health, you should be prioritizing your nutrition, you should be fueling your body. Like, if you do enjoy training, you should be recovering, and all of these little variables really should be precise and should be taken seriously, you know. But yeah, she was asking me, how do you navigate your goals? Like, and I was just saying, like, so if I'm maintaining or if I'm in improvement season, don't get me wrong, like, I have my selective indulgences. I just don't allow it to dictate my week or my progress, you know, like, especially if I am pushing food up into a surplus. I don't want to cut that surplus short, you know, like, I want to make the most out of that time for the sake of body composition wise, for the sake of like how challenging dieting can be. And the more body fat we've got to pull off, the harder it's going to be, the longer it's going to be. And I'm very much in, out, get the job done, you know, like, who wants to diet forever? Like, I want summer to come around, and I want to be eating sushi and I want to be eating cookies, you know, but that doesn't mean that the habits that I've built and established are going to plummet. You know, they're gonna stay surging. I'm still gonna do my steps, still gonna do my cardio, I'm still gonna train. I'm not dieting to then just revert back to who I was in 2023. You know, like, it's the mindset. So anyway, she was asking me, how do you navigate it? And I was telling her, I actually went to Nando's with my scale to prove a point. Shame is free, okay? It's also a social experiment. And what we did was, we actually, so the menu said 484 calories, chicken butterfly, 2 vegetable sides, and a pita bread. First of all, we weighed the pita bread, and for it to fit the macros, the calories for the amount of carbohydrates, it was actually half of the pita bread was the equivalent of one regular pita bread, because obviously it was a bigger pita bread. And they cut it into 4 pieces, so actually only half of it was considered part of that portion. But we weighed the full amount anyway, weighed the chicken breast, and it should have been 150 grams of chicken breast to fit in the macros and the calories that was stated on the menu. 225 grams or something like that, like 227 grams, not 150. So first of all, immediately calories above and beyond. We also asked for the chicken not to be cooked in oil or butter. That's it's as simple as that. That's the hack. You know, that's how like people eat. Request oils and butters and sauce on the side. But again, if you're not measuring it and you're not tracking it, you are guessing. And that's where a lot of people go wrong, and that's where they'll hold themselves at maintenance. And it also accrues a lot of dietary fatigue, because you believe you're dieting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday you have an off-plan meal, and it literally bumps your calories up. Anyway, we basically navigate it by, first of all, it's good to share food with men, okay, because they're going to eat so much more than you're going to eat. Share the sides with a man, a friend, a brother, a father, an uncle, a cousin, a partner. Like, share the food with a man, because he's going to eat more than you. Also, his baseline calories are obviously going to be far greater than yours, and just because of his hormones, just because of his gender. I'm saying 2 things here. I'm going to go back to the Nando's thing. We weighed the chicken, we weighed the bread, and we looked at the veg, okay? We don't track vegetables when we're dieting, like you don't need to. Obviously, don't be eating 500 grams of veg per meal. You know, everything in moderation, like your portion, 100 grams is the sweet spot, let's say 200 grams at a push. That's gonna keep you nice and full. And yeah, like bulk up your food, like bulk up your meals with your vegetables and your salads. That's gonna keep you fuller for longer. We didn't consider the oil in the tender stem and the spinach. So we were very generous with the 200 calories we gave that. Anyway, when we tracked the pizza, the chicken, the tender stem, the spinach, which is a very clean off-plan meal, eating out meal, if you will, 784 calories or something. So not quite the 400 and something, 400, just short of 500. Okay, so that's already an extra 200 calories. Plus the oil, that's going to take you to 800, 900 calories straight off the bat. Just because oil melts doesn't mean it disappears. And I think that's where people go so wrong. These calorie dense meals, you know, they don't always align with your goals. So I was trying to explain to her. There's so many times that like I've been on holiday and I've been out and I've just ate my normal food, and if I have eaten out, you know, I am actually asking for sauce on the side. I am actually only eating chicken breast, and that's what everyone in the fitness industry will do. They'll say, yeah, I make the sensible choice, I make the sensible choice, the selective indulgence, the selective indulgence. They don't eat the burgers and the pizzas, okay? Unless they're willing to just take the hit and say, yeah, my scale's gonna fluctuate, gonna put on a little bit of weight, take the L. You know, if I'm dieting, I'm not setting myself back a week from doing like all of the cardio and all of the steps and all of the training. It's just not worth it for me. Like, we need to be realistic. Like, in a diet, like, it's not a free-for-all. Even like gaining weight, even maintaining weight, and this is where people actually need to instill healthy habits into their eating and practice it. Because if I was to eat out every single night of the week, which I did, in, you know, in 2023, multiple times a week, and like I would be banking calories and I would be like considering things like that, I was still gaining a lot of unnecessary weight, unfortunately. But I'm 5'4", you know, I can't just eat like a small man, unfortunately. But yeah, sharing the sides. So obviously if you're doing a little bit of a recomp, you know, you do want a little bit of lifestyle flexibility and you're eating out, you still have to make sensible choices. Share the sides. Ask for your foods to be cooked in no oils and no butters. Not always going to be the case. Avoid heavily sauced dishes and build your plate around protein, you know. Sauce on the side is so important. Salad dressing on the side is so important. And I'm not saying like, oh, the only way you can stay on track is like going out and eating salads, but it depends what you want. You know, like there's some girls who want to get really, really lean, and it just doesn't come with balance and flexibility. And this is where it does come down to that kind of like 8 to 12 week mark. Like, do the diet, say no, like don't give in to temptation, don't incorporate flexibility, because that 8 or 12 week timeline will turn into 24 weeks. You know, like if you're consistently like eating out, and don't get me wrong, within that 8 or 12 weeks, if you had like, let's say 3 off-plan meals in that time frame, that's not going to impact your progress too much. But if you do kind of consistently, you know, incorporate that degree of flexibility, it'll be a far slower rate of loss. You know, like, is it possible? Sure. Do you actually want to be compromising on your nutrition and your energy and your performance for the week for the sake of eating out? But yeah, the selective indulgence, you know, like have the pizza, have the burger in moderation, you know, like have it as a treat. Also, when you're eating out, it should really be like the social aspect, you know, the company aspect. It doesn't always have to be treated as the biggest event of the year. I don't know if I'm food focused, or if it's just because it's come up so many times in check-ins. Like, I can't wait to eat out. I equally like eating out, but for me, the matter of like 8 to 12 weeks out of the entire year, I don't mind. I was also at a point where like the food was here, like I was in a surplus, I was eating out every week, like I was having cookies, I was having everything I wanted. And I was just like, oh, like I almost wanted my gut to get cleansed. I was so lethargic. I was also like, my body temperature was, I was so warm, like I was sweating in my sleep, basically. Disgusting. I know. So yeah. Okay, so meal 3, chicken, rice. I've actually just weighed out 100 grams of dry rice because it's dry on the meal plan, and then I'm just gonna weigh it cooked so I know. And 100 grams of veg. So I'm just gonna have spinach, frozen, and green beans, frozen. And that's the meal. I'm excited for this one. No sauce, no oil, just simple. Loading meal of today that is very much welcomed. It's made me feel so tired. I've just been doing a few steps in between meals, but I'm not exceeding 10k, so I'm on 8k steps. I've honestly been twiddling my thumbs. Ridiculous, I know. So chicken breast, 100 gram of veg. I've got dark chocolate, but I'm actually just going to put that in my yogurt bowl, and then I've got 5 rice cakes. So lucky me. And my eyes are going square because I've been on the laptop all day. But yeah, no, this has been nice and this has been good. So obviously that's me back to my low days tomorrow. Calorie deficit. We've had a nice big high day today. No steps, no cardio, but we will be stomping for those steps very, very intentionally. I'll obviously be elevating my heart rate on the Stairmaster, and I can't wait to train. Like, it has been good to catch up with loads of stuff. I've sent out a couple programs, I've done a couple of late check-ins, I might say, and we have reviewed lots and lots of training footage, which is really good. So that's kept me really busy, so thank you for that. Got 5 rice cakes. But yeah, definitely needed this because my stress was really high. My legs were a little bit fatigued. It has been 10 weeks. My training intensity has reduced, of course. But strong. I didn't actually realise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't actually realise how exhausted I was 10 weeks later. You know, all my biomarkers have been really, really good. Up until earlier this week, and my stress was heightened, so that was that. So yeah, veg, chicken, rice cakes. I'm going to reserve the fats from this meal for my yogurt bowl, and that'll be that. Sorry, got 7 minutes there, so I'll come back. Okay, so 120 gram of chicken, 100 gram of veg, 5 rice cakes, reserving the fats from this meal for the yogurt bowl, and that's the meal. Okay, so it's the last meal of the loading day, high day. We have Greek yogurt, whey protein, nut butter, frozen berries, dates, and dark chocolate. 85% by the way. So, first of all, this is a nice big meal as well. This is obviously my favourite meal. 200 grams here. Little dash of cinnamon. We have, of course, the salt. So this is obviously the goat. Obviously I'm back to low days tomorrow. Put in the 10 grams. So 200 gram Greek yogurt. 10 grams of whey. I've got the Labrada. This is my favourite whey that I've had so far in Dubai. We don't get perform, so. Then I'm not going to eat this little piece because I didn't weigh it. So I'm not going to weigh that. And that's the meal. The goat. The best meal of the day. See ya. So, that is the first high day of the 2026 fat loss phase, prep, if you will. Done and dusted. And boy, has that made me so tired. You startled me there. But no, it's good. I've just been able to kind of like relax a little bit. I've done a lot of work today, which has been really good. That's the physique. Very foot up, very 10k step, very intentional. Literally did, like, to get my steps, I literally walked to the shop downstairs and pottered about the flat. Like, did the washing, did the dishes, did my work, and then got in the walking pad 10 minutes at a time, did that twice, and accumulated 10k steps just from being at home with my feet up, which is crazy. So it is possible. I obviously had to go outside and I obviously twiddled my thumbs and was walking around the apartment, but yeah, that's the 10k steps from the work from home office job, if you will. But I do obviously just stand up and walk around. But anyway, the high day went down really well. I am very tired. I'm back to training tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. Who knows what the scale will say. I'm going to expect glycogen replenishment because I did feel flat. But I'm not depleted, so I know that, you know, like, it's not going to be a matter of scale decrease. But I'm happy. Obviously, I love to eat. But yeah, this is me. This is my YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Like, literally love you, homies. Deuces. And please do like, follow, and subscribe. And have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you happen to be in the world. Because, yeah, it's a good day to have a good day, you know? So, deuces, homies.